variety of, 5 different types of players. Well, who do you think is going to win? The one that can adapt, right? And so your immune system has a broad awareness, right? It should have a broad awareness, but it shouldn't be all focused on coronavirus, because guess what? If you're focused on that thing, you're going to be hyper reactive to that thing. And guess what? Coronavirus is all around you all the time, right? So I anticipate some very bad outcomes for a lot of people that got these vaccines, because their immune system is hyper focused now on coronavirus. And so if someone sneezes in a bus, that could be fatal, because you're hyper focused on coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very.
I mean, telling me what I know that they're. I know we talked about this, and they said that the testing for that the flu is coronavirus's cousin, and you can't really tell them apart, especially when you're doing the cycle count 45 times. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So these PCR tests, basically what you're doing is you're amplifying a little fragment of DNA, right, or RNA, right? And so if you can take, like I have a napkin here, John. I have a napkin here, right? So you can take a little fragment of this. You can take a little DNA fragment of this napkin, and you can multiply it so many times, and you can figure out what kind of tree this came from, right? But the more you multiply it, the more erroneous you have, because you're multiplying, maybe you just got a speck of dust, right? Or a piece of the equipment, and you multiplied it so many times that you're going to misidentify it, right? And so I tell people that you kind of, science has its limitations. Science is not fact. Most of the time, science gets rebutted and it gets recalled, right? It gets people like, you remember there used to be bloodletting. At one point, they used to bloodlet George Washington, right? Because he got sick or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was mainstream science. Thank goodness we progressed, right? And so 100 years from now, what are they going to say to us, right? 200, 500 years from now, what are they going to say about modern science? They're going to say that we were crazy to put Roundup on our food. That's what they're going to say, I can't believe you guys shot that stuff into your blood vessels.
Yeah, exactly. Does anybody have any other questions? Because I know that also that the 9.5 is great for building up your immune system too.
Yes.
So Kim says we nebulized the 2.5 with peppermint essential oil, and it helped out a lot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, that's another great thing you can do, and that's basically what Sam says. Sam does the same thing, but you can put a little peppermint oil there too to help out, as well as make it taste a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. True. And a lot of these essential oils, these things that that Mother Nature has already made, right? Okay, so I worked in a chemistry lab, right? Mother Nature has been doing chemistry for 1 billion years, or it's as old as the planet is. Okay, so Mother Nature's been doing science. She's been doing chemistry too. So who are you going to believe? You're going to believe someone that's been doing this for 1 billion years, or whatever, 1,000,000 years, I don't know, whatever, right? For a long time, or someone that just got a 4-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
That just read it out of some book that was written by some other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have to question, like, where are we in our mentality? Where are we in our critical thinking? Right? And so, and John, you've known that I've been very vocal about this pandemic since day one, right? You've known that, right? And so I just tell people, there are fears and there are dangers in this world, right? But only one is real. And you have to be able to decipher which one is fear and which one is danger. Because if you can't tell the difference, there could be a lot of manipulation going on.
Right? More people die of a car accident than they would of what's going on. And yet you don't tell people just stop driving. So you know what? Let's just stop driving then. No, we all go through risks in life, and we know the risks. And if you drive safer, you'll be a lot better off than people who are little more crazy driving.
Yeah, and you manage your risk, right? So for me, Kangen is the biggest risk management tool that I have, right? Because I'm going to be in this body for hopefully 105 years or something like that, right? And so how do I keep this vehicle, this car that I'm using, this shell that I'm using from birth to 105? I got to do maintenance on it, right? I got to change the oil, right? John, my Acura, right? My Acura downstairs. It's a 2002 Acura TL. It's got 367,000 miles on it. Original engine. And my friends are like, I don't know how you keep a car for 19, 20 years, Sam. I tell them it's very easy. You do the maintenance. Parts break, right? You hear something sounding funny, check it out, replace the part. Same thing in your body, right? If you get a little ache or pain, you need to find out what is causing that. Not just take painkillers, for 7 years or 8 years, right? You need to find out the root cause. This pain is an indicator.
Right.
Pain is not a problem.
And just like your body, if you let the problem persist, just like your brakes, when you hear the little squeak, you go change your brakes.
Yeah.
If you wait 3 months, now your brakes are gone. Now you're hitting the calipers and the rotors that you have to get replaced as well, which is going to cost you, $500-$600 rather than just $120 for just the brake pads.
Yep. And that's the thing. That's why healthcare is so expensive, right? Because people don't do prevention, right? There's no money towards prevention, and all the money is made from treatment. You notice that?
Yep.
4 or $5 trillion a year not in prevention, but in treatment. Because that's partially our fault, right? Because we want the pill, we want the quick fix. Well, there's because we've been conditioned to. Ask your doctor if this blue pill is right for you. We've been conditioned to it. So, looks like someone had a question about the recording, John. So you send it out?
Yep. So if you're not on Kangen Business Builders on Facebook, you should get on Kangen Business Builders on Facebook. All the events are posted there, and the recordings as well. So we're going to post it on there. And if there's anybody who is not going to be on that or needs it really, really badly, I can send it out to you. Irina, do you have a question? Hang on a second. Irina, do you have a question? You can just go ahead and say it. I guess you got your hand raised. When do you share the fun? Oh, so Sam, they're asking when and how do you share the financial part?
Okay. So, what's the number one objection that people have, right? Is the cost, right?
Yep.
And so when they, I tell them, well, the machine is you can finance it for 43 bucks or 53 bucks, or you can buy it one time for $4,000, $5,000. But I tell people that no one ever really pays full price if they work the referral program. And would you like to learn about that referral program? Right.
Yeah.
And you usually say yes, and then that's when I launch into the business. The 8-point system, right?
Perfect. And by the way, you should be on every single demonstration. I know for me, it feels sometimes funny to give the business part away after the demonstration. Maybe the person's a millionaire and you figure, oh, well, he's not going to want to know about this. You'd be surprised, because a lot of millionaires are like, man, it'd be nice to get my machine paid for. I can get I can buy a couple more, or there's some relatives that could be using these, or, I could get mine paid for pretty quickly.
True.
So don't get shy about sharing the business part about it, and just make it real nonchalant. And I like to put it just by saying, you interested in getting your machine paid for? Well, that's a yes question, right? Of course you're going to say yes. Okay. So, and then I just go into, let me show you how I got mine paid for in the first month and a half. And then they're thinking, wow, month and a half. Wow, I really want to hear about this. So that's some good things to say right there.